my mother didn't change very much. We kind of knew what the rhythm of the year was. So things like that will change, and how we are part of the support for the monarchy.
Princess Anne is one royal who is hardly ever involved in controversy, even though she remains one of the most active members of the monarchy. However, according to recent reports, she has made a shocking announcement about her royal future. This comes at a time when she has been widely praised for her many royal engagements. Many who admire Anne's style of leadership have been left speechless after hearing what she said about her future. But what exactly could this announcement be? Is Princess Anne planning to step away from royal engagements now? Join us as we uncover what Princess Anne has revealed about her royal future. Princess Anne's royal future. Princess Anne's announcement about her royal future followed King Charles's decision to reshape the monarchy after he became king. This development placed more weight on the senior members who remained active, and it slowly brought renewed attention to Princess Anne's position inside the royal system. According to reports, there is one important decision King Charles took that may have signaled what the future holds for Princess Anne in the royal family. Let's find out what it is. This may not have been King Charles's intention when he made the decision, but many believe that elevating Sir Timothy Lawrence could influence the future direction of Princess Anne's role. Not long ago, King Charles personally appointed Sir Timothy Lawrence as a Knight Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order during a private ceremony at Balmoral Castle. The honor was awarded entirely at the King's discretion, without political or public input, which made the decision even more significant. Observers of the royal household noted that this type of recognition often reflects personal trust and appreciation. Because Sir Timothy Lawrence is Princess Anne's husband, the promotion was widely seen as an acknowledgement not only of him, but also of Anne's long-standing loyalty and service to the crown. However, it was not just about the appointment of her husband. More attention has also been drawn to the role Anne plays behind the scenes. Royal commentator Robert Jobson has repeatedly described Anne as someone King Charles can rely on absolutely during difficult moments for the monarchy. That description has often been repeated in royal reporting because it captures the way she is seen within the institution. She does not speak often in public about internal matters, but her consistency and discipline have made her one of the most dependable figures in the royal family. Yet, there is more to her royal duties that many do not see. Princess Anne's importance did not begin suddenly with the new reign, but it clearly increased after Charles became king in September 2022. From that point, Princess Anne took on a more visible role in supporting the transition into a new era. Engagements increased, responsibilities continued without pause, and she remained one of the few royals who maintained a steady workload without interruption. In a period where the monarchy was adjusting to change, her presence gave continuity. She went to military events, charity visits, and state functions at the same steady pace she has kept for many years. The importance of that continuity became even clearer during the coronation in May 2023. Anne served as Gold Stick in Waiting, a ceremonial role with deep historical roots, and one reserved for only a small number of senior royals. During the ceremony, she rode behind the Gold State coach, positioned in a way that symbolized protection and loyalty to the sovereign. The event took place in London, but the role itself reflected centuries of tradition. It was one of the clearest public demonstrations of trust placed in her by King Charles during his coronation. From that moment, Anne began to be seen more clearly as a stabilizing force within the monarchy. The royal family had already become smaller in terms of working members, and this placed more pressure on those who remained active. With fewer people available to handle national duties, overseas visits, and ceremonial roles, each senior royal became more important to the system. In this setting, Anne's reliability stood out even more. She was always present and not affected by the changes in public attention or media interest. This change also fit into King Charles's plan for a smaller monarchy. By reducing the number of working royals, more responsibility naturally fell on a smaller group. This meant each role carried more weight than before. Within this structure, Princess Anne's importance grew, not because her title changed, but because she was needed more. Her presence at royal events became more central to how the monarchy operates day to day. Along with these duties, Anne continues to serve as Grand Master of the Royal Victorian Order. This role places her at the center of one of the monarchy's key honors systems, which recognizes personal service to the sovereign. It also involves her in ceremonies and decisions that show the crown's appreciation for those who have served it directly. The position strengthens her link to the inner workings of royal honors and recognition. Her experience within the institution is also unmatched in modern times. Princess Anne has lived through the reigns of King George VI, Queen Elizabeth II, and now King Charles III. Each of these eras shaped the monarchy in very different ways. Under King George, the monarchy was still recovering from the Second World War and working to rebuild public trust in a changing Britain. It was a period marked by stability and a strong sense of national unity after hardship. Under Queen Elizabeth, the monarchy became truly global. Her long reign brought major changes, including decolonization, the rise of mass media, and later the constant attention of television and social media. The royal family became more visible than ever before, and every action carried international attention. Princess Anne spent most of her adult life in this period, seeing firsthand how the monarchy adapted to constant public scrutiny while still trying to maintain tradition. Now, under King Charles, the focus has shifted again toward a smaller and more focused monarchy. Because Anne has lived and worked through all these very different phases, she brings a rare sense of continuity. She understands how the institution has changed over time, and that long view makes her position within the monarchy unique in a way few others can match. Beyond ceremonial roles, Anne continues to represent hundreds of organizations across the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. These patronages range from military associations to health charities and educational foundations. Many of these groups depend on her presence for visibility and continuity. Over time, this wide range of duties has made her one of the most deeply involved members of the royal family. Her work goes beyond public appearances and includes long-term support for organizations that rely on royal patronage to stay stable. With this long experience, she has also become a guide for younger royals. Members of the next generation are taking on more public duties, and Anne's many years of service place her in a natural position to offer example and support. Her sense of duty and public service gives younger royals a clear model to follow. This role is not official, but it happens through daily contact and working within the same institution. Public opinion of Princess Anne has stayed strong over the years, and in recent times it has become even more positive. Many royal commentators see her as one of the most respected figures in the modern monarchy. This respect does not come from media attention, but from many years of steady service, which is why Anne is often called the monarchy's workhorse, a name that reflects how much work she does and how dedicated she is. But how did she get this name? Let's find out together. Why Princess Anne is the monarchy's workhorse. Princess Anne earned the nickname the hardest working royal through decades of public service. Unlike many public figures, she rarely seeks publicity and instead focuses on a relentless schedule of royal duties. Everything about that reputation started forming in the early years of her public life during the late 1960s, when she began taking on full-time royal duties while still in her teens. At that stage, she was already appearing at official events across the United Kingdom, representing the royal family at ceremonies, charity functions, and public institutions. The workload increased steadily over time, and she never stepped away from it. By the time the monarchy entered the modern media era, Anne had already built a pattern of constant engagement that never slowed down. One of the clearest examples of that workload came in 2023, when Princess Anne carried out 457 official engagements in a single calendar year. These engagements covered events across the United Kingdom and abroad, including military visits, charity appearances, and state-related duties. In that same year, King Charles carried out fewer engagements, even while adjusting to the early period of his reign. The comparison placed Anne at the top of the royal workload list, making her the busiest member of the royal family for that year. The figure did not seem unusual to those who have followed her career, as it reflected a long-standing pattern rather than a sudden rise in activity. Her formal journey as a full-time working royal began in the late 1960s, shortly after she started taking on official responsibilities on behalf of Queen Elizabeth. From that point onward, she remained consistently active without long breaks or reduced roles. The structure of her work never changed in direction, only in scale. In 1987, Queen Elizabeth formally granted her the title of Princess Royal, a traditional honorific given to the eldest daughter of the sovereign. The title had historical roots within the monarchy and is held for life. For Princess Anne, it marked a formal recognition of her established role within the institution. Her public profile also includes a significant moment in sporting history. In 1976, Princess Anne represented the United Kingdom at the Montreal Olympics in Canada. She competed in the equestrian three-day event, becoming the first British royal to take part in the Olympic Games. The event took place in Montreal, Quebec, and placed her in a unique position within both royal and sporting history. Princess Anne did not compete as a ceremonial figure, but as a fully participating athlete, which drew global attention at the time. Her involvement in the Olympics remains one of the most widely recognized moments of her early life. But that's not all. Her life also includes one of the most serious security incidents involving the modern royal family. In 1974, while traveling in London on the Mall near Buckingham Palace, Princess Anne was involved in an attempted kidnapping. The incident took place when her royal limousine was stopped, and an armed individual attempted to force her out of the vehicle. The situation was eventually resolved without harm to her, and the attacker was arrested. The event became one of the most remarkable security incidents in modern royal history and reinforced public awareness of the risks faced by senior members of the royal family. Over the years, Princess Anne has also been closely involved in key constitutional and state events. During the accession of King Charles in September 2022, she accompanied him during important ceremonial and constitutional moments linked to the transition of the crown. Her presence during these events reflected her position as one of the most senior and experienced members of the royal family. Princess Anne's long-standing connection with the military is another major part of her public role. She has held several military appointments across the United Kingdom for many years, including Colonel of the Blues and Royals from 1998, Colonel of the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards from 1995, and Admiral and Chief Commandant for Women in the Royal Navy from 2012. She also serves as Royal Colonel of the 1st Battalion, the Rifles, along with other honorary positions across different branches of the armed forces. Over several decades, she has maintained regular contact with military personnel, attending parades, visiting bases, and supporting service members and their families. Beyond her military roles, one of Princess Anne's longest commitments has been her work with Save the Children. She became involved with the organization in the early years of her public service and has maintained that connection for decades. Her role has included field visits, fundraising support, and international advocacy work. She has traveled to different parts of the world in connection with the organization's projects, meeting children and families affected by poverty, conflict, and lack of access to health care. This long-term commitment has remained one of the most consistent aspects of her charitable portfolio. But her royal engagements doesn't end there. Her international duties have also been extensive. Over the course of her working life, Princess Anne has undertaken thousands of overseas engagements, representing the United Kingdom across Europe, Africa, Asia, Oceania, and the Americas. These visits have included diplomatic missions, cultural exchanges, and charity-related appearances. Each trip was part of a wider effort to support international relations through royal representation. In September 2022, following the death of Queen Elizabeth, Princess Anne played a visible role in the funeral arrangements held in the United Kingdom. She accompanied the late Queen's coffin during part of its final journey, including the ceremonial procession from Balmoral Castle to London. The journey passed through several locations across Scotland and England, ending in state ceremonies in London. Her presence during the funeral reflected both her personal role within the family and her official position within the state structure. It was one of the most emotionally public duties she has carried out. Former Royal Press Secretary Dickie Arbiter has described her as disciplined and focused. He has praised her for simply getting on with it, a phrase often used to describe how hard she works. But in the midst of Anne's public admiration, there seems to be one royal figure who isn't as impressed with Princess Anne's commitment, Queen Camilla. It's often reported that Camilla may be uncomfortable with the numerous roles Anne plays, because Anne could be overshadowing her. But how true is this report? Why aren't Princess Anne and Queen Camilla best of friends? Keep watching to find out. Why Princess Anne and Queen Camilla are not best friends. Queen Camilla and Princess Anne did not just cross paths in the royal family. What connects them goes back to the early 1970s, long before Camilla married King Charles III and before she became part of the senior royal circle. At that time, Princess Anne was young and active in high society, where members of the royal family, military officers, and aristocrats often mixed at the same events such as horse riding competitions, parties, and social gatherings. It was in this kind of social settings that Princess Anne reportedly had a brief romantic relationship with Andrew Parker Bowles, a British Army officer. The relationship did not last long and was never serious or publicly discussed at the time. It ended quietly, and both moved on with their lives without any public attention or conflict. Andrew Parker Bowles was also closely connected to Camilla Shand during that same period. Camilla and Andrew had known each other for a long time and had an on-and-off relationship that was already well established. They moved in the same social circles, attended many of the same events, and had several mutual friends. As a result, they became very familiar with each other within that group. In 1973, Andrew Parker Bowles married Camilla at the Guards Chapel in London. By that time, Princess Anne's brief relationship with the man had already ended, and there was no public tension between Anne and Camilla. However, the fact that both women had been linked to the same person at different times created an interesting connection between them. Years later, when Camilla's relationship with King Charles became widely known, some people began to wonder whether Anne's past relationship may have influenced how she viewed Camilla. Those questions have continued to fuel speculation over the years. However, neither Anne nor Camilla has ever publicly commented on such claims, and there is no confirmed evidence that the situation caused any problems between them. As a result, the idea remains largely a matter of public speculation rather than established fact. Anne's connection to Camilla became more noticeable because she is King Charles's sister and saw many important moments in his personal life. One of those moments was on July 29, 1981, when Anne attended the wedding of Charles and Diana at St. Paul's Cathedral. It was a very big event in London and was watched all over the world. As time went on, Anne saw the marriage begin to have serious problems and later become very public. During this time, she also watched Princess Diana grow into one of the most popular members of the royal family. Even though Anne and Diana were very different in personality, reports suggest that Anne respected how Diana could easily connect with ordinary people. Diana was very active in charity work in the 1980s and 1990s, and she changed how the royal family worked with the public. Anne also believed strongly in service, so she understood the value of Diana's work even if they did things in different ways. The breakdown of Charles and Diana's marriage became one of the biggest problems the royal family faced in modern times. The couple separated in December 1992, and the divorce was completed in August 1996. During this time, the royal family was under heavy public pressure. Princess Anne saw both the personal pain inside the family and the public attention outside. It was a difficult period that affected everyone close to them. However, it also marked the beginning of a deeper strain within the royal family that is still discussed today. Let's look at how this period shaped the ongoing tension within the royal family. During this time, Queen Camilla's relationship with Charles also became a major public topic. The situation became more serious after Charles admitted in a 1994 television interview that he had been unfaithful. It became even more intense after Diana's BBC Panorama interview in 1995, where she said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage." Camilla's name became part of public debate, and many people saw her as part of the marriage breakdown. Princess Anne did not speak publicly about this issue. She is known for staying silent on family matters. However, royal observers believe she understood how damaging the situation was for the monarchy. During the 1990s, she continued her royal work without stopping. She carried out engagements across the United Kingdom and abroad while the family faced heavy media attention. Anne's approach to royal life has always been based on duty and discipline. Camilla entered royal life in a very different way. Her relationship with Charles developed over many years before their marriage. Because of this, their experiences inside the royal system are not the same. This difference has often been used to explain why their views on royal life may not fully match. During the years of controversy, Anne was never seen as a public supporter of Charles and Camilla's relationship. She did not defend it in interviews or public statements. She also did not criticize it. Instead, she stayed out of the debate and focused on her duties. This silence is very typical of her way of handling sensitive issues. Anne's loyalty has always been to the institution rather than public arguments. While newspapers in the 1990s focused heavily on Charles, Diana, and Camilla, Anne continued working. When Charles and Camilla married on April 9, 2005 at Windsor Guildhall, public opinion was still divided. Many people accepted the marriage slowly over time. Camilla began to take on more public duties, charity work, and royal appearances with Charles. Princess Anne watched this change from the beginning and continued her own steady royal work. Even with many years in the same family, Anne and Camilla's relationship appears mostly formal. They meet at official events and royal ceremonies, but there is little public sign of a close personal friendship. Some royal commentators believe Anne may still hold respect for Princess Diana's memory, and this may have shaped how she viewed the Charles and Camilla situation. However, Anne herself has never confirmed this, so it remains only outside interpretation. Over time, both women continued working within the same royal system. After Charles became king in September 2022, Anne and Camilla both took part in major royal duties. They appeared together at state events and official ceremonies. In public, they worked together without visible conflict. But the fact that there have not been any visible conflicts does not mean there are none at all. Many observers believe Camilla remains one royal princess Anne is not close to. On the other hand, they have mentioned other members of the royal family with whom Camilla is said to have a closer relationship. Let's find out who they are. Royal family members Princess Anne is closest to. Throughout her life, Princess Anne has developed strong relationships with several members of the royal family. Many of these bonds were formed through shared experiences and public service. Her closest connection is with King Charles, her only brother, who was born just 2 years apart from her. They grew up at Buckingham Palace and spent much of their early childhood together under the care of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. Their early years were shaped by strict routines, private tutors, and public expectations that came with being the children of a future monarch. Over time, their relationship developed into one built on long experience and shared understanding of royal duty. Charles has repeatedly shown trust in Anne by giving her important ceremonial and state roles. Royal commentators often describe Anne as one of his most trusted confidants, especially during major transitions such as his accession in September 2022. Strong influence also comes from her bond with Queen Elizabeth, her mother, whose reign lasted from 1952 until 2022. Their relationship was built on shared duty, rather than public emotion. Anne often accompanied the Queen on official duties across the United Kingdom and abroad. One of the most emotional moments of their connection came in September 2022, when Anne accompanied Queen Elizabeth's coffin on its journey from Balmoral Castle in Scotland to London. The journey passed through Edinburgh before continuing to Westminster Hall in London, marking a final act of duty between mother and daughter. Many observers believe Anne inherited much of her mother's sense of discipline, especially in the way she approaches public service without seeking attention. Her relationship with Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, was also very strong. Anne was often described as the child most similar to him in personality. Both shared a love of horses, sport, and a direct way of speaking. Philip supported discipline and hard work within the family, and Anne reflected many of those same values in her public life. Their shared interest in equestrian sport created a natural bond, especially during her early years as a competitive rider representing the United Kingdom at international events. But her close connections within the royal family did not end with Prince Philip. In her personal life, Sir Timothy Lawrence has been a constant presence. Anne married him in December 1992 after her first marriage ended. Their wedding took place quietly in Scotland at Crathie Kirk, near Balmoral Castle. Their marriage has now lasted more than 3 decades. Timothy Lawrence often accompanies Anne on official engagements, both in the United Kingdom and overseas. He has maintained a low public profile, but his presence has supported Anne's work schedule and travel commitments across many years. Anne also shares a close bond with her daughter Zara Tindall. Both mother and daughter are strongly connected through equestrian sports. Zara followed her mother's path and became an Olympic medalist at the 2012 London Olympics, winning silver in team eventing at Greenwich Park in London. That achievement made them one of the few mother-daughter pairs with Olympic-level success in the same sport. Their shared interest in horses has remained a central part of their relationship. Her relationship with her son Peter Phillips has been shaped by a different approach to royal life. Anne made a deliberate decision not to give Peter a royal title when he was born in 1977 at St. Mary's Hospital. This decision was meant to allow him a more private upbringing outside the strict structure of royal duties. Despite this, Peter has remained close to his mother throughout his life. Their relationship has continued through family events and public appearances. Prince Edward, Duke of Edinburgh, is another royal family member with whom Anne shares a strong working relationship. Both have often represented the monarchy at official events, especially during the later years of Queen Elizabeth's reign and into the reign of King Charles. They are both viewed as dependable working royals who carry out duties without seeking attention. Anne also shares a professional and respectful relationship with Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh. Sophie and Anne have often appeared together at major royal events, including state ceremonies and charity functions. Both women are seen as key members of the working royal team, especially in the period after Queen Elizabeth's death in September 2022. Anne's connection with Prince William has also grown stronger over time. Anne has supported William throughout his transition into his future role as king. Both share a strong focus on public service and duty, rather than publicity or personal image. William has gradually taken on more responsibilities within the monarchy, especially after becoming Prince of Wales in 2022, and Anne has remained one of the experienced senior royals available to support him during this period of transition. Across all these relationships, Princess Anne's ties within the royal family are shaped by a long history, shared duty, and steady service. What do you love about Princess Anne? Do you think she should be given more royal roles to play? Share your opinions with us in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the following video on your screen, and you will enjoy it.